You know, I used to think I was dumb, but I discovered that I'm not dumb at all. No, I just suffer with a developmental disorder characterized by an ongoing pattern of one or more of the following types of chronic symptoms: attention difficulty, hyperactivity, and impulsiveness. Because I have ADHD!
That's the problem. Everybody's dancing. Yeah, I lie, I cheat, and I steal. But at least I'm honest about it. Bully for you. Well, while you're down there, love, whatever happens. No, honey, I just took my bra off. I'm in for the night. Who took my stapler? Soccer moms. Soccer mamas. I did True West with Sherman Helmsley. I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D. Don't talk about the war. Have a nice day. Don't tell me what to do. I'm just a simple caveman, Your Honor. That's not my bag, baby, I swear. And don't call me Shirley. Establishment, you always know what's best. Shake harder, boy. There's doings a-transpiring. The jerk store called, and they're all out of you. No bow would be better than that bow. Oh, baby. Business is about to pick up. In my heart, I know that I'm funny. 5, but it's thick. Such a fine line between clever and stupid. Lieutenant Steve! Lieutenant Steve! Now I'm about to choke you. And don't you dare try to defend yourself. I didn't hear no bell. One of these days, Alice. One of these days. This calls for a little bit of the bubbly. ADHD, ADHD, ADHD. Come have ADHD with me.
Oh, everybody, welcome to another edition of Harry Has ADHD. This one, I think we started only 40 minutes later. Actually, you know what? It's on a special night tonight. We're doing it on a special night. Normally, I do this on Wednesday nights at 10. It's supposed to be at 10. Normally, it starts about 10:20 because I have ADHD. This has become much like everything with ADHD. I must acknowledge this has become a giant catastrophe. In the sense that this is too much. I've taken on too much here to do. I thought it would be simpler. It was a great idea in theory. There's too much going on. I think I got almost all the... I'm going to give you an update on the last couple of weeks. We've had an issue with the streaming platforms, the different platforms. And I'm not going to tell you which one it is because apparently I just found this out. So... you're not allowed to name the platforms on other platforms. So I'm trying to broadcast on several places to reach the most amount of people. So far, the winner of that, I can't even say which winner it is. Welcome everybody who's joining me on the, I got to come up with code names or whatever for these. There's people on the, how do I say this? The, I can't say the Igloo, the one that used to be about pictures or whatever. The Ashley Graham. Welcome everybody there. I found out you're not allowed to say the name of another platform because then the other platforms get mad and they basically like shadow ban you, right? So, you know, the what do we call it? TT, the TT, Tete, the TK or whatever, that one. The one from China that's stealing all our secrets and we're upset about it because American companies should be stealing our secrets. That one does not like it if you mention the other one, the Red brand, which is so I got to use code words. It's like the Crips and the Bloods. I'm not allowed to mention. But anyway, we're broadcasting. This is a giant catastrophe. I already hate this show because it was supposed to be something fun. And much like everything, when you have ADHD, it's become a complete disaster here. And so hopefully if there's comments coming through, I'll check them. If you can hear me fine and the music's not too bad, please do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up or just write in the comments section there that you can hear me just fine. The TT brand, you guys are not getting any music. I think you're just getting visuals and a microphone, I hope. So, yeah, in the comments section, if you can hear me. I guess if you can't hear me, you wouldn't know or nobody's paying attention here. So if you're in the comment section of any of this, and this is, again, I hate starting a show like this, but... tonight's topic, let's get to it. I'm trying to help people with ADHD or any other mental illness you have, because we all have something. So I'm inviting you all to come here and have ADHD with me. And so tonight's big topic is medication, right? The effects of medication and how that affects people. And I'll be honest with you, because I have ADHD. I was supposed to start the show at 8 p.m. tonight. It was Tuesday. I thought I was going to get a nice rest. And then I waited until the last minute to set up the TT platform. And so everyone, I mean, I guess, hi, China. I don't know. So I didn't do any research. So let's look up the effects of medication. And I can only tell you the effects that I have. My medication is I take Concerta. And so my medication, it's weird. A lot of, from my understanding, Ritalin and Concerta and all that, a lot of that's just, apparently it's speed. It's speed. Let's see here. You really have ADHD? Did you recently find out? I found out about Steve Mack, who's joined. Hey, Steve Mack. I have found out about 10 years ago or so that I've been diagnosed with ADHD. I just thought I was dumb for many, many years on account of, well, I never saw a therapist because my parents are immigrants, so they didn't believe in that. Instead, they just called me stupid and said, do it, just do it. A lot of immigrants, you know, it's interesting. A lot of immigrants unknowingly, whether they like they like adopting the phrase of Nike, just do it. Even though they are too cheap to afford the sneakers. At least my parents were. So yeah, no, I've had ADHD for over 10 years, 15 years at this point, I guess. I'm trying to remember the first time I started taking the medication. Yeah, maybe you should see someone. You should find out. You wonder if you have it. Okay, hold on. We got somebody, Steve Mack, and I believe this is my friend Steve Monster Mack, but I can't tell because it's on can't say that name. Let me see here. Let me try to open that in a new window. No, it's a different person. Yeah, Steve Mack. Yeah, you should see somebody. What makes you think, Steve Mack, that you have ADHD? What is the? And for people, the question of the night: what was your first clue that you had ADHD? Everybody, we'll open up to everybody in any chat under any platform. What was your first clue that you might have ADHD? I'm trying to think of my first clue. That I had ADHD. I mean, you know, when I was a little kid, I couldn't pay attention, but most of school is boring, so that's not a great litmus test. It's not when you're in school and you're bored, because everybody's bored. Yeah, so Steve Mack, let me know if you have that. My first clue, I'm trying to think, man. I don't know. I didn't get diagnosed with it as an adult. I think there's not one specific moment that stands out, but there were many days as an adult where I would sit down at a computer because I was a writer. You know, I wanted to do stand-up. I wanted to write sketches and whatnot. And there were many times I would sit at a computer and then 8 hours later I'd have nothing. I was there. I sat down. I wasn't running around. I was sat down, but because of the internet or whatever, I just had no pages or a half a page, and then I had binge watched, you know, all of like the Ben Stiller show or Monty Python or just a wrestling marathon. I watched 3 WrestleManias back to back, or I just spent the entire just Wikipediaing the career of hockey players that I forgot about. Like, what happened to that guy? Let's see. Steve Mack says, I feel like the older I get, the less ability I am to learn the way I was as a kid. And I like to smoke weed, but I feel like it helps me focus. It might help you focus. I mean, it's just also, listen, as an adult, in all fairness, as an adult, you know, you got more responsibilities. I don't know. I think maybe you have less time to learn, you know, learn stuff the way you were as a kid. You have to sit and go to school, but I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could go to school now. Oh my God, I couldn't handle it. That also didn't help. When I went to college, I had a tremendous amount. Oh, you know what? Yeah. This is when I knew. I remember now. I remember now when I realized there was a problem. I was going to school at NYU. Not a rich kid. My dad got me in there because not because he had influence. My dad did not go to NYU. My dad worked at NYU at the College of Dentistry as an audio-visual technician, and because he was there 10 years, it was like in their contract, one of the union negotiated things in their contract that if you're there 10 years, your kids can go to school for free. And I think they put that in there thinking who would be stupid enough to work here for 10 years. And, well, the answer to that is my dad. That would be who would be dumb enough to do that. But I remember I was going to school at NYU, and I had a job at the same time. And so it was tough. It was a tough balance. I was a security guard. I was working security, and I was working the night shift, and then sometimes I'd have to work the day shift or overnights and stuff. And I love the overnights because there's just nobody around, which is great when you have ADHD. The less people around, there's a chance you could focus. There's a chance. All you really want when you have ADHD is like a chance to focus. You never end up really doing it. You kind of piss it away. But you just want the opportunity. So I remember that I had to read some type of science textbook or something. And I reread the same page. I was in the security truck. I had a couple moments to myself, nothing going on duty. And there was nothing happening. I was keeping an eye on parked cars, rich people's cars, because every once in a while somebody would steal a headlight, and it was a big thing. And I asked for a firearm. I was not given one. I was told under no circumstances. I was like, come on, man. How am I supposed to protect these headlights if I can't sling some lead? But I remember that I had some college textbook. I don't remember what class it was. College science was always rough for me because I could not follow. And to this day, I cannot process textbooks, and I cannot process instruction manuals. So I reread the same college textbook. I literally, the same paragraph. I would start the paragraph with the intention of reading, and then somehow my mind would get distracted either by a word or something that happened outside. But here's the weird part. I was reading. I was literally reading the words, but not processing them. So I was reading them. I tried reading them out loud, and then my mind knew how to function reading, and then I would just not. I couldn't understand what I had just read, and I must have done that 7 times, and I realized, okay, there's a problem, and I did not really get anything else taken care of in regards to that until many years later. That I actually finally got it diagnosed, because most of the time I didn't have health insurance. I never had a job long enough. Anytime I had a job that had health insurance, that security job, these motherfuckers. Let me tell you something. I'm like, why didn't I get it checked out? This is and this is why you need like labor boards. These jack-offs. I was working 39 and a half hours, and they purposely scheduled me, and they would not let me. And then I would work overtime, and then they just said, you don't technically, those are extra hour shifts. You don't qualify for full-time work and therefore benefits. And I didn't know enough to just go, hey, you could call the labor board. And like I should have done that, and I didn't do that. And then they also moved me. Here's another awful thing they did. These assholes. I still remember this guy's name. You know how you remember a boss at work? I still know the guy's name. I guess I shouldn't say it out loud, but every once in a while, I Google this guy, and this is one of those distractions. When I think back on this story, like right now, what I want to do is Google this guy and see what he's up to, because he was a douche. He had taken over they moved me over from security to valet, but they did it by like every once in a while they go, hey, could you cover a couple valet shifts? You make a little money on tips. I was like, all right. And then they just got rid of my security position and cut my pay and didn't tell me until I saw my check. And they go, well, you're a valet now and you get tips. And again, I was maybe 20. I had no idea that these are all illegal actions. This is all completely illegal stuff by a major corporation. I'll tell you where it was. It was the New York Waterway. What do I care? It's a pretty important job, the New York Waterway. You're transporting people on a boat. It's kind of dangerous. It should be more professional, but they'd always find a way to take care. And also the valet was just me, and I am Latino, but like just like uber Latino dudes. That's who was valeting the cars. And this dude was an Italian dude who made it his mission, I guess, to set us straight somehow. We had a nice thing going. We had a little valet shack. They got rid of that, moved us to a different part Not only do we not have a valet shack or a bathroom, I think we were outdoors. No air conditioning, just a tent, I think. Just a little canopy. And, this dude really was an asshole. And then he had his sidekick who was like, he was Latino, but he was a coconut in the sense that he's brown on the outside, white on the inside. He was trying to be the Uncle Ruckus. So he was trying to like, kind of, I guess, rat us out, or he was trying to crack the whip a little harder on us to show no favoritism for the white man. He had reverse vitiligo, poor guy. And so eventually this dude was on us, like from the very beginning when he took over, just decided that because there's a mentality that you have. Some people have this mentality when they come into like a position of power where they go, okay, I'm the supervisor. And if you are in a position below me, that means you're stupider than I am. Somebody in the chat, Latinos for Trump. Yeah. He is Latinos for Trump are coconuts. Yeah. They're brown on the outside, white on the inside. I do like it when I see those videos of people who voted for him, either being arrested or thrown out of the country. There is the one about the lady who sang that song, but it's a fake video. It's not her, because she sang a song like a salsa or a merengue. And one of the people in her band got deported. It kind of makes me happy. I don't want anyone deported, but if it's it's happening. It might as well be somebody who chose to vote for a guy who made it very clear that he was going to deport Latino people. Let's see here in the comments section. I'll try to get back on track here. I forgot what we were talking about. I was watching a crime show on TV. They showed a photo of this guy that used to be my boss. I continued watching the show, and it turns out his wife shot him, and she said she thought he was a bear. Oh, wow. Now, let me ask you this, Josh, in this comment. How do I put this nicely? Were you sad when you heard the news, or you're like, oh, right on, cool? Because if I found out this guy, this douche named Pete Liotta, ugh. All right, I can't say what I was going to say about Pete Liotta. Yeah, he was one of those guys. He wore expensive clothes, but they looked cheap. One of those things. Like he had like these gaudy Italian loafers and this suit that it must have been $1,000 suit, but the way it was cut on him, it all looked weird. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy who they dress up, but there's something about him. Everything about him was like a facade of what a real man was supposed to be. Like he had a mustache, but it didn't look like a mustache. It didn't grow in properly, so it had like a stubble, like he just had a 5 o'clock shadow on his. So it was like a weird mustache. He was like if you made if they needed like a stunt double for Al Pacino, that's what he would look like. Like if you had a film where Al Pacino had to be thrown through a plate glass window, that's what this dude would have looked like. And he was a jerk. And I remember he was riding everybody's ass. And there was this lovely woman. She was like a middle-aged woman, like a mom. And she was good at the job, but he was just breaking everyone's balls, cutting everyone's shift. There were two of us parking 100 cars, and then they were like, why is it taking so long? Just stupidity like that. Just that stupid thing of when you go, hey, we don't have enough people to park these cars. 2 people's not enough people. And they go, that's fine. And then they go, why can't you park all these cars? Why is it taking so long? People are complaining that you guys are taking too long to get back. I'm like, yeah, that's the job. That's the job. And also, I wasn't much thinner then. I was not exactly like an athletic guy. It's me and a 45-year-old Peruvian woman. I don't know why you thought we'd do a 40-yard dash to go pick up a Volvo. That's not happening. We're moving the best we can. And so they were just breaking balls every day because they thought we were stealing, I think. They just assumed that we were stealing. And so they were doing counts every day, even though I go, yeah, that's not going to be complete. We're not done. Blah, blah, blah. This woman, they yelled at her or something, and then she just got in the car that she was parking and then just floored it angrily to park the car. And they go, you can go home. And I said, I felt bad for her. I go, listen, don't, she's just upset. You can't fire her. I cannot do this job without her. And I remember Pete Liotta going, why don't you mind your own fucking business? Yeah, there we go. That was the line. That was the Kill Bill line, the and I go, oh, are we allowed to curse? I thought this was a workplace, Pete. Are we allowed to curse? Mind my own fucking business. If you fire her, I'm leaving. And he goes, go back there and mind your fucking business. And I go, and they fired her. I go, well, I'm out. And on the way out, I knocked over all the keys to the valet thing. I flipped it over. And I left. And I was home. I mean, I only lived like 10 minutes from there. So I was home in bed whacking it. Let's be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. It was the World Cup. I was watching the World Cup. I remember my two memories was it was so hot. It was a hot summer day. It was July. I was in bed under the sheets, enjoying some soccer and enjoying the company of myself. And then I was like, cool, I'm out. And I later found out that I was a hero after that to everybody. I don't know why I told you that story. That was I like standing up for somebody and quitting. I wanted out of that fucking gig anyway. I really did. But I was so hard-headed. I would not have quit until you start cursing at me. But more so that they fired her. She didn't deserve to be fired. She was good at her job. Okay, I'm sorry. I rambled on in there. Oh, your boss, Josh. Okay, so Josh's boss apparently was watching the TV. Your boss, he was cool. She shot him for life insurance money, and then she shackled him with his brother. It's a wild story. Wait, but he didn't die in the thing? He didn't? Man, I'm saying all these words that are going to get me deplatformed. Doesn't matter. Too late. He wasn't unalived? This is the type of conversation we have. Did you ever steal stuff? I wonder if stealing is more common in people with ADHD. I have no doubt, but my first thought would be yes. I think I'll say this. Is stealing stuff more common with people with ADHD? I can't say for sure. Under my circumstances, I do know that I look at things and pick up on patterns pretty well. And you can kind of, if you use that power for evil, because what you notice is things that other people aren't paying attention. It's weird because your ADHD is like you're not paying attention, but you are always paying attention. You're just paying attention to the wrong things, right? So like if I'm at a concert or like there's like a wedding band or something, and somebody goes, the band is playing. There's like a solo, like a lead singer or something going, Bésame, Bésame mucho. One of those crappy songs. One of those crappy little love songs. I never look at the lead singer. I'm always looking at the backing band because I want to know what people are doing if the drum solo's happening or bass or guitar solo. I'm always looking at the rest of the band, like what are they doing while this is going on? And I don't know why that is. I want to know because I know what the lead singer's doing. I want to know what everyone else is doing. Are they smoking? I know I would be. I'm just curious. Are they leaning? Are they bored? I like watching people in a band talk to each other, and you can see like body language that people are furious at each other. One time at a wedding, I remember this. There was a DJ, and it was, Mixmaster Fabulous or something, and then he goes and DJ Rick. His assistant was DJ Rick, like. And he said it like in such a way like this dude had not earned the right to have a cool nickname yet in the wedding business. And I remember Mixmaster Rip or whatever his name was. I could see him like yelling and like, come on, hurry up. You got to hand out those inflatable saxophones, damn it. Like he really was adamant. Some people take their job way too seriously. Like, come on. These people they're not going to be ready for the chicken dance. That's a guy who probably should have been kicked in the chest. A lot of these jobs, when you have an awful boss, my thought is this, like, I wonder what goes on in their home. That's always my thought. And it's usually probably terrible. Like, probably old Pete Liotta who was a real douche and accused me of stealing. Oh, by the way, also, I filed for unemployment and won, and they tried to deny me unemployment because I walked off the job. But technically, I said the words that were used were, if you don't like it, you can go home too. And I won. Now, it took me 6 months, but what was I doing? I was living in my parents' house. I was whacking off in a bedroom watching soccer. I had nowhere to be. That was cool. I didn't technically need to do the job. It was just, there's an immigrant mentality. I couldn't just go to school. I also had to have a job. But anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, stealing stuff. Stealing stuff. You notice patterns and stuff. You're like, okay, I could get away with this. The thing I used to do most was steal time. I never stole stuff. Time, though, I would steal because time was stolen from me. So I felt it was there's that thing where you have me doing 8 jobs. You're stealing my time. Now it's my turn to steal your time. And I figured out the patterns of who was where and, who was looking at cameras and when they weren't. And, I thought it was one of those, I can't say which job it was. It wasn't the valet job. That I wasn't stealing. I don't know if anyone else was. That's not my business. But I was lumped in with everybody else. I wasn't guilty. I don't think the MILF lady, she wasn't a MILF, but don't tell her I said. No, she was all right. I probably would have hooked up. I was still a virgin at that point, I think, right? When did I lose my virginity? 20? It was late. Not by choice. Not because I had a promise ring, kids. Because I wasn't a famous comedian and a moderate podcaster with 3 viewers on one of these platforms. Anyway, I'm sorry. Tonight's question was, we were talking about medication, right? So I wanted to have a question for everybody. If you have ADHD, what's the thing you notice that nobody else sees? How about that? Let's do one of those tonight. And anybody on any platform can chime in the comments. I think I can see all of them. Grapple Talker, my friend Stephen James. What's the first thing you ever stole? Mine was a candy cigarettes, all right, and Swedish Fish. The bodega guy caught me and let me give it back. He didn't tell my mom, but I got an after-school special talking to. Oh, wait. You got a talking to from who, though, Steve? First thing I stole. I remember getting caught stealing a Transformer, like a Transformer toy at a Rite Aid. I was real little, so the guy was like, yeah, and just my mom. And then my mom was like, she's like, I'll take care of this. And then she was very sweet. Like, you can't do that, baby. Don't do that. My mom tried not to beat us, but I remember we got a couple beatings. When I was growing up, my family, immigrant family, we did get beatings. But we only got like a handful of beatings, which was enough. I got 5 a year from my dad. That was enough. That's the right amount of beating your kids. That's enough to let you know it could happen and understand there's consequences. And that you're not playing games. The bodega guy gave you a candy fish. I had another thing I was going to tell you, and I lost it. That was the first thing I stole, was the Transformer toy. And I got caught with that, which I don't even know how they saw me. I mean, I was probably not very sly about it. I was not a big shoplifter. I was never a big shoplifter, like I told you. Although I will say this. Here's my thing. If you're at the Walmart or any place that has a self-checkout and, by accident, I would say I wouldn't do this. It would be wrong to do this. And listen, you young kids, you young millennials, you turn this off. Don't listen to Uncle Harry. I'm just going to tell you a story about a friend of mine who sometimes when there was a self-register, the thing to do is not shoplift. What you would do is you'd get like 8 of something, and then you'd only scan 9. You'd only scan like 6 of them, right? And then they started to catch on to that scam. And then, so what you would do, you'd get a bunch. They would be like, hey, you only click. There's supposed to be 8 items. I only count 6 on the register. Like, oh, they have a phone for that, said this friend of mine, not me. And then I thought, this friend of mine thought, what you can do is get 3 of something else. Now, the math has to work out. You got to be really good with math here. But what you do is you get a bunch of items that are less priced, and then you click those extra. So what you would do is you'd get like 8 gallons of almond milk, and you'd only click 6 of those, but then you'd have 2 distilled water bottles, and then you'd click those 4 times. And that's a scam that I saw in a movie once. But I don't steal, kids. Definitely don't steal, and definitely not from corporations that like to use self-checkout machines and cost people jobs. And I don't think that's, don't steal. I've never stolen anything. Now, I have gotten confused because I'm not a professional cashier, and you're asking me to bag my own groceries. Yeah, some numerical mistakes are going to happen here. Okay? Well, you're going to blame me? I don't work for your payroll. I'm sorry that it didn't come out right. I got no job training at this at all. I just came in here to get some Fruit Loops, and then all of a sudden now I got to put on the blue vest. So, if those people get stolen from, that doesn't affect me none. But I and nobody else, I think, should steal from a mom and pop or something small like that. So I have no problem with that whatsoever. Let's see. Yeah, that would be the first thing I ever stole or tried to steal. But I was not much of a thief. I don't like the consequences of it. I feel genuinely bad when I get caught. I think to be a good thief, you got to not care if you get caught. You don't want to get caught, but you shouldn't feel the level of shame. I tried it when I was younger. You shouldn't feel the level of shame. But my parents would do the thing of, like, I remember back there was some beach or something where they would, well, you know what? This is an impromptu question. Let's skip the other question. Let's talk about the things you guys shoplifted. I don't know how we got here, but that's the question of the night. Tell me the things when you were young, and who's to say what young is? 6 months ago, you were 6 months younger than you are now. I'm not a cop. I don't think this is admissible in court. Lord knows nobody's watching this. So, I mean, now's the time to confess anything you've shoplifted, if anybody has. And I know some of the people in this chat for sure shoplifted some stuff. Josh, what did you shoplift? I need to hear it from you. Did I ever steal stuff? Oh, that was his question. Did you ever steal stuff? Is it common? I don't know that it's any more common with people with ADHD. There's a lot of impulse stuff. I think some people there are elements of dopamine hits, which is a thing people with ADHD deal with, and stealing, but that's more prevalent in people who are not poor who steal. Like when people with money, like I guess when Winona Ryder got caught shoplifting. Remember that was a whole big thing? What happened with that? I think they just let it go. It's fine. They're like, she was rich. She was stealing from a rich person's store. It was fine. Thank you, Xavier, with the solidarity. Appreciate you. By the way, guys, if you can do me a favor, you guys are with me and I appreciate you. Just send this out to your friends who are mentally disturbed or mentally ill. That's all. You don't have to tell them they're mentally ill. Just send this. Hey, I thought you would enjoy this. Type, this guy has ADHD. He's all messed up in the head. But if I'm trying to think of the other stuff, anything I shoplifted when I was younger. I feel like my cousin was a big shoplifter. My cousin Chris, who was the bad influence on my life, because Chris was like 5 years older than I was. I think I talked about Chris last week because I told the story about the time that Chris tried to sell me an LA Kings t-shirt for all the money I had, and my aunt caught him doing it. It was also a shirt that he couldn't fit into anymore, I realized in hindsight. So it wasn't even like he was selling a cherished shirt. He couldn't fit into it, and I wanted it. And then my aunt just beat the dog shit out of him. And then I got a free shirt that I felt uncomfortable about wearing after the fact. I don't know if you've ever received a gift that you watch somebody get beat out of. It's not it's not that pleasant. There's a reason people don't want to, you just want it off the back of a truck. Didn't shoplift, but I'll tell you what I did do. I did get one of those black cable boxes. I had this job where I worked to get a black cable box. Specifically, I took this job to get a black cable box because my parents never gave me any money. We had no allowance. Let's see here. Before I go on to that, let me make sure I write that down because I will forget about it. The cable box story. This is a thing I've started now, having a little pad here, everybody with ADHD. I feel like everybody over in TT, the TT app, a little bit quiet. I feel like there's a lot of people watching. No one participating. Say hello. Let me know if you've stolen anything. Again, this is not admissible in court, I think. Josh writes, me and my brother used to steal tapes from Kmart. My mom found out, and she made us send an anonymous letter to Kmart with money in it. Oh, Jesus Christ, Mom. An anonymous letter with just, what, cash? You put a bunch of cash in a manila envelope? Yeah, there's some clerk at the stockroom who got $50, who was buying lunch that day. That money never made it to Kmart. Also, who is Kmart? The corporate office? What did you think? They wouldn't even know how to process that. There's not even a way to process that. That would be what your mom did was like create a hassle for them. Like, I don't, what are we supposed to do? We'll just put it in the register. You can't just put it in the register because then people are going to wonder why the register's $50 over. You can't just. What kind of tapes were they? I'm assuming they're music tapes, but what kind of bands was it worth stealing? That's a thing that kids miss out on. You know, it must have been so easy to steal stuff, especially in like the 70s and 80s. God, I don't even know how banks weren't robbed every second of every day. You know what I mean? Like, who bought anything? If you bought anything in the 70s or 80s, you're a sucker. You're a real sucker if you bought anything in the 70s or 80s. Let me see. Question of the night. Let's put it up there. Maybe we can get it in the chat. What was the coolest thing you ever shoplifted? All right. What was the coolest thing? I'm doing all this by myself. Sorry, bear with me. Ever shoplifted. See, this is why I need the background music. What if I was a cop and this is my way of busting people? To just do this podcast? I mean, would that be a thing, you know? Like, let's see. I would be like Dean Cain joining ICE. Oh, what a sad state of affairs. Dean Cain, what a washed up douche. Yeah, he did one role. He was just Superman. That's it. He was Superman in the mid-90s, and he never did anything else since. Speaking of stealing, I wanted a black cable box, a black box. Now, that might be a foreign concept to you youngins. Here's back in the day, all the cables were done through wires. Literally, the cable would come through like a wire that they'd set up. And then years later, people figured out that there's two ways to do it. You could actually just go in the box and remove. There was like a blocker, like a physical blocker. And if you knew enough, you could open that box and just like remove the blocker, and then you were good. But then they caught on to that. So then they started sending digital stuff. But you could get a black box. Yeah, you could get a black box. By the way, Steve, just ADHD, you're talking about you stole candy cigarettes. I liked that even as a kid, you were a degenerate, like stealing cigarettes. Even though you don't want to smoke, you're like candy cigarettes. Josh is saying it's mostly hair bands, like Twisted Sister, Warrant, Motley Crue, Quiet Riot. Oh, wow. So you really live in the gimmick. You should have stolen a couple Christian albums there just to throw her off, you know. So I stole. I got a black cable box, which is technically stealing, right? The statute of limitations must have run out at some point on this. I could talk about. I wanted a black cable box, mostly. Now, here's the only reason I wanted it was because I wanted to watch professional wrestling pay-per-views, which were an astronomical amount. I think they were like $30 a pay-per-view, which was $30 a month. There was two companies, so it would have been $60 a month. And this was in like the mid-90s. I mean, that's an insane amount. And so I got a job. The only job I could get, there was a company advertising in the school newspaper. It was a phone, what do you call it? Telemarketing thing. And we were raising money for the State Troopers Associates. And what I realized later was it's not for the State Troopers directly. It's the State Troopers Associates. We're just the company that the name they came up with. And our company kept 75% of whatever donation. So you'd call up people while they were having their dinner, disrupt that, and then say you were raising money for the State Troopers Associates. Now, you might say to yourself, hey, don't State Troopers have a salary and a pension? Yes, they do. But, you know, that doesn't mean they don't need or want for things like margarita machines or, a belly dancer for the company Christmas party. Okay? I don't know what they used the money for, actually, in hindsight. I didn't care. I just wanted a black cable box. And this was the only job that would hire me. It was my first job. I had no resume. And so they hired me, and there's such a high turnover rate because it's a miserable job. You just sit there. And the job was supposed to be for 6 days a week. These assholes wanted me working there for 6 days a week. And it was just the worst. You'd have to cold call people. Half of them would be angry and hang up on you every once in a while. And then you'd have to read a script. And it was, there was nothing, there's not a good story about it because there's literally nothing that happened. The only thing that excited these people was their damn cigarette break, where they would all just rush off to get their cigarette break. And I didn't even smoke, but I wanted to go outside, so I pretended I was a smoker or whatever. And there's some people there who had been there for years, and it was just depressing. Even at 16, I got to get the fuck out of here. This place is weirding me out. The vibe of this place is weirding me out. I got enough money to, I think it was $280 for the black cable box, which I got. And the first thing I watched on it was Woodstock 99. That's right, Woodstock 99. Yeah, that Woodstock, the one where they stopped doing Woodstocks after that, where they go, we can't do that, because they didn't have enough water and food and bathroom and stuff for all these dirty hippies, and so rightfully so, they burned that motherfucker to the ground. I have zero sympathy about it. No one died, right? We're cool. No one died. No one got hurt. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with anything getting damaged. So it was no, any corporation that makes a great deal of money and then everything gets burned to the ground. Not my problem. Hey, how you doing? Let's see. I can't even see the name. My eyes are so. I'm starting this show too late. Oh, let's get back on track. Let's get back on track, everybody. Sorry. Tonight's topic was medication, right? Remember that from 4 hours ago? So medication, I did zero research on this. I use medication. A lot of people with ADHD have a big thing. Their big problem is they end up with the side effects of medication. So I looked up, I was supposed to do this beforehand, but because I was procrastinating. I'm not going to lie. I was procrastinating because I was watching, I was marathoning It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That kind of, I don't go in order anymore. I don't have time anymore. I like the show. Now with any show that's not a serial show, what I will do is I will just go on a list and go, give me the best episodes. I don't got time no more. I like the guys and the gals from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but it's been 25 years, I think, or something. It's an outrageous amount of episodes. I don't got time for all of them. I got to skip the ones that are You give me the best ones. That's it. Give me all the good stuff. I don't got time. I don't have time for you to cut it with baby laxative. You know what I'm saying? Entrapment, writes Xavier. No, I swear I'm not a cop. If I tell you that, that's legal, right? So I was supposed to do that. I was procrastinating, and then let's see. Oh, okay. So the side effects here of medication are common side effects include a decreased appetite, sleep problems, and mood changes. Let's see here. All right. Common side effects: decreased appetite and weight loss. Wait, what? It definitely decreases my appetite. Decreased appetite and weight loss. Stimulant medications in particular can suppress appetite, potentially leading to weight loss. How am I the only person who that has not happened to? I take these medications every day. I'll tell you what it is. It does limit my appetite. But once the medication wears off, I mean, the goose is loose, baby. I'm making up for lost time. I don't. So, yeah, that's not a problem for me. Sleep difficulty. Okay, yeah, it can be very difficult falling asleep because you're taking speed. And that's what most people don't understand is that's how weird how messed up the ADHD brain is that speed actually slows it down. And I know I'm using medical jargon like messed up and busted. That's how busted the brain is that, speed will actually calm it down. Same thing. Robin Williams supposedly and Stephen Fry both said that cocaine actually relaxed them, mellow it out. How fried are the synapses of your brain that speed Excuse me. I'm doing this show way too. This will be the last late night version of this. Maybe I'll get more people if I don't start at 10 p.m. It's now 11:30 on the East Coast. Now again, my intention was to start at 10. I started at 10:30. Actually, if I'm being honest, because today is like a special day. Tomorrow I have comedy sets, and you follow all my social media. You can see me do stand up. I'm not just the guy with a weird microphone who's just ranting about ADHD. So I wanted to start this at 8, and I got tremendously distracted. And then, but one of the things is you can't sleep, right? Now, I deal with that. Everyone, if I take that medication too late, I'm up for the night. And I don't know what to do. I can't get to sleep. But I will take melatonin. Let me tell you something. That melatonin stuff, that is like wild. That how strong that stuff is. That's the stuff that should be marketed. I take like, I forget how many milligrams it is. My girlfriend bought me a bottle of it. And I took one whole one. I mean, it knocks you out. I mean, I've had to cut them in half and then cut it into a quarter. At this point, I just take like a little, I hold the pill in my hand. I just rub it on my pinky and I dab it under my gums. I don't even take a whole melatonin, before I just go, I'm out. Yeah, right. I just don't even, I can't. It makes you have crazy dreams. Oh, I don't know if I haven't thought about that. Does it make me have crazy dreams? I'll have to think about that next time I take it. I'm going to take some tonight just to do that. But if I eat too late, or if I shower, I get all like, if I eat too late, then shower, and I took my medication like a little later, I'm up for the night. I'll be up till 4 a.m. But the key is, I have learned is don't fight it. Just get up and do something. I can't do the dishes because that'll wake up my girlfriend, but I tend to clean the garage a lot. Which, when you say that out loud, it sounds like you're a lunatic. It does sound like you're a lunatic. Cleaning the garage at 3 o'clock in the morning is not the actions of a sane person. But what do you want me to do? I didn't want this. I'll tell you what I will listen. There's certain things I'll listen to try to get to sleep. They say don't watch television. But, Alicia. Hey, how you doing? There we go. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. Let me know if you shoplifted anything. That was the question of the night. I don't know how we got there. If you've ever shoplifted anything cool or worthwhile. I'm trying to think if I ever shoplifted anything cool. I've certainly purchased some stuff that fell off a truck, but I knew that I didn't take it off the truck, But that was what in Queens. A guy would show up every once in a while, and you'd get like either a satellite dish or a black cable box, and that's what you would do. Throw him a couple bucks. So back in the day, I don't have television anymore. I used to love having television. Because TV, at least you could flip through the channels. I think with social media, the thing is right near your face, and you flip up and down. But I remember seeing there was Selena was on TV like the other night when I couldn't sleep, and that's a good movie. I enjoy that movie, and but it just reminds me. Then I start going down the rabbit hole. See, I could think about J-Lo. Like, man, her career is. She's having some trouble this year, right? She tried to do this like big arena tour that she did not sell that many tickets. And I guess she did not realize that J-Lo did not realize she is not as popular as she thought she was, Like she really thought it was a weird rude awakening to find out. Like that's a little bit wild. And then I thought she could sell this tour out because, but then everybody I started asking people, they're like, yeah, her music's not, I don't think it's that good. Like what? I thought she was a big star. Like, nah, if you look at the numbers, like, she sold albums and stuff. And then I was like, yeah, but she's an A-list star. And then I started looking over the movies, and I realized J-Lo fooled us, everybody. J-Lo, I realized this. I started, like, in my ADD haze, I started going down the IMDb list of all her movies, right? And I was like, wait a minute, none of these are good movies. Like, what is the best movie J-Lo has done? I'm like, she tricked us. She tricked us. She tricked everybody into believing she was an A-list star because she was always going out with somebody who was super famous. I'm not saying that she's not has some talent or that she's completely terrible, but we treated her like she was royalty. And I realized the reason is she was always dating Somebody, it was always like somebody famous, like P. Diddy. You know, she don't want to talk about that. Who else did she date? She married Mark Anthony. She was with Ben Affleck. Did she date somebody else? Oh, Alex Rodriguez, who managed to wiggle out of that. He should go in the Baseball Hall of Fame just for that, for not striking out there, for getting out of that jam. But I decided, like, let me look at her. No, there's no way. She's a good actress. And I was, like, arguing with my friends. They go, no, she's not. Like, I'm trying to think. All right, let's be fair. And I'll give this a shot right now. Let's look at J-Lo's IMDb. Let's look at Jennifer Lopez's IMDb. And, okay, Jennifer Lopez. All right, let's just see what she's known for. Those usually are the top lists. Okay, Hustlers. Remember that came out? Not a big deal. Made in Manhattan. I remember that, but I don't think that was a massive success either. That was like, all right, that was fine. Second act, I have no idea what this is about at all. Out of Sight. Okay, she had a small part in Out of Sight. She was decent. She was good in Out of Sight, but it's less a J-Lo vehicle and more of a Steven, I was going to say Sondheim. That can't be right. That can't be right. What is the guy's name? Steven Soderbergh, not Steven Sondheim. I think Steven Sondheim did musicals. Did Steven Sondheim direct Out of Sight? I think that would have been great. I think that would have been great. It would have been a lot different. All right, so I'm looking. Let's look at her roles. Let's see. Actress. She's at 140 roles in movies here. Let's see. All right. Let's go to the very beginning here. Let's not mess around here. I don't need all this. Yeah, IMDb, you don't need to list all of the things she did an appearance on. So she was on In Living Color. Remember that? She was like a fly girl for 61 episodes of that. All right. She was a good dancer. Everybody in the chat, name me the best J-Lo film. And let's see if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like in hindsight, she tricked us. But let's see. Let me give it a legit shot again. All right, that's In Living Color. That's not really acting. She was dancing in that. You know, she's got some small parts in these shows here that I've never heard of them. Money Train. Okay, I remember Money Train. Money Train was kind of cool. A small little part in Money Train. Selena. Okay, that was her big breakout thing, Selena. She was pretty good in that. My girlfriend, still pissed. My girlfriend's Mexican, so she's furious that they hired a Puerto Rican woman to play Selena. And I'm just trying to explain to my girlfriend that you're lucky the movie got made at all. The way Hollywood works is, especially at that time, you get one Latina woman. If that, it's got to be J-Lo, and otherwise that movie doesn't get made. The only other person there was Selma Hayek. I don't know if she could have done it. I think Selma's much better than Selena. Okay, I agree with you. Selena, that's her big movie. On Anaconda, that's like a little horror film. Okay. U-Turn, I don't remember much about that one. Then there's Out of Sight. That was a decent film. Now she's just making mostly music videos here. Music videos. The Cell, don't remember it. The Wedding Planner. Okay, now we're getting into the romantic comedy phase with Matthew McConaughey. All right, that might be it. Wedding Planner, I'll give her that. That was a big thing here. Let's see. Angel Eyes, I don't remember anything about that. Enough. I remember Enough was the one where she played a woman who's getting divorced, so the guy's a creep who's her ex-husband's stalking her, so she learns MMA. I think a little bit before time, but I don't think that did well either. Made in Manhattan. Okay, I thought we just talked about that. Isn't that with Matthew McConaughey? Wait, I thought the other one was with Matthew McConaughey. Wait a minute. Now I'm getting my Matthew McConaughey things confused here. Was he not in the wedding? I see his picture in The Wedding Planner. So who is the guy she hooks up with in the Made in Manhattan? Oh, Ralph Fiennes. Ray Fiennes. Oh, Ray Fiennes was the romantic lead in the thing? All right. I think they had big hopes for Ray Fiennes. They were kind of crossing each other at different points of their careers. I guess you have to change. Once you play a Nazi, I guess you want to shake it up. You got to do something. He's like, what's the opposite of a Nazi? I'll do a romantic comedy. No, she was in movies. Yeah, J-Lo was in movies, somebody's pointing out. Okay, that's not great. So I'm not going to give her that. I don't even remember that Ray Fiennes. Made in Manhattan, I don't think was very good. Gigli was a disaster. But that is where she met Ben Affleck and ruined his life. So twice, by the way. It takes a lot of skill to do it twice. Monster-in-Law. Are we sure Matthew McConaughey's not in Monster-in-Law? Who is in Monster-in-Law? Who is the dude in Monster-in-Law? Oh boy, this guy doesn't even get any billing. It's Jane Fonda and then Jennifer Lopez, and rightfully so. Jane Fonda should get Michael Vartan. Who the hell is this dude? Here's another thing I'm fascinated by. Like, this dude got the. I mean, that's a big deal to be the lead in this thing with Jennifer Lopez and Jane Fonda. And this dude, we've never heard from him again. What has he done? Let me see. Watch, he's probably like in Game of Thrones or something that some show I don't watch. Michael Vartan. What has he done? Let's see. Alias. He was on the show Alias. Okay, 96 episodes. That's Never Been Kissed. He was in that. All right, he's on Alias. He was on Alias for 96 episodes. That's some good syndication money. He's probably doing well. Okay, fair enough. I'll allow it. But my point is this. So far, this ain't no Hollywood. This ain't no Hall of Fame career here. You know what I'm saying? This is no A-list. This is no A-list stuff. This is B-list celebrity level here. If we get to, let's see, preview. Let's get 2021. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm zooming down here. I'm trying to go here. That she made a bunch of things. What is it? Enough. Remember that? Made in Manhattan. Geely. That was a disaster. Selena's Greatest Hits. I don't know how she ends up in that. Let's see. So mostly music videos. Shall We Dance? I've never heard of this. This looks and sounds terrible. I've never even heard. Holy shit. This has Richard Gere. Wait, I've never even. Remember how big Richard Gere was and he just stopped? All right. Susan Sarandon and Richard Gere. What is this? I've never even heard of this movie. A romantic comedy where a bored, overworked estate lawyer, upon first sight of a beautiful instructor, signs up for ballroom dance. Oh, my God. This sounds terrible. Let me get rid of this before my girlfriend accidentally walks in on this, and then I have to. She loves a good romantic comedy. Oh, my God. She loves. And some of the ones that I've watched were like. I remember this. It doesn't get more romantic and indie than this. It was a guy who makes bread for a living, and he goes to a ballroom dancing class every week. Was it because his wife died? I don't even remember if his wife died or somebody else. Somebody has to die because you can't break up. It's not a nice thing to break up. The person has to die so the women don't think you're terrible for forgetting about her. This dude made bread. It was a double combo of awful things I didn't want to see. It was not very good. It was about a guy who makes bread and then also goes ballroom dancing once a week, and he finds love or bread. I don't know. I wasn't much paying attention to it. There's some movies I'll watch with her, and some I can't. Some of these romantic comedies are pretty brutal, man. Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm trying to think if it gets better than that. Let's see. Monster-in-Law I liked, but it's not a massive hit. That was with Jane Fonda. Not a massive hit. Mostly music videos at this point on. Yeah, she stopped doing An Unfinished Life. Never heard of it. Border Town. Don't remember it. The Backup Plan. That just came out in 2010, right? That was like she gets pregnant, but she still has the baby or something. I don't know. I don't remember who's in it. Who's the other guy in it? Have no idea. Who's the other guy in it? Alex O'Loughlin. Who's Alex O'Loughlin? Oh, my God. Her movie career is so bad, she's taking other people down with her. That's how bad this is going. What has he been in? Hawaii Five-0. All right, yeah. I mean, that's a better career than I have. I'm sitting here in a basement broadcasting. I'll give the guy that. He's got Hawaii Five-0 money. I mean, that'll get you hooked up with a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, I feel like. Yeah, this is brutally bad. This is bumming me out. I got to stop this. She was in Ice Age. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You know, that's some voiceover work. She's music video with Pitbull. Everyone's got to do music video with Pitbull. I got no problem with that. Yeah, at this point, she just stopped making movies for a little bit. I don't know what happened here. She'd do some voiceovers. She was in Ice Age, so those you got like $1 kajillion for. And then second act. What the hell is second act? This is another one I've never heard of. Look, I'm done. I'm done doing I rest my case at this point. Do we need to go on? We're at 2018. This is pre-pandemic numbers. The woman's acting career is terrible. But my point is, we treated her like she was an A-list star because they told us she was an A-list star. But she was only an A-list star because she was always hooked up with somebody who was a bigger star than her. It's genius. She just did it. She lied to us. And I feel tricked, I guess. Anyway, what was I talking about? We're supposed to be talking about medication. Okay. All right, I got to get focused here. Oh, no. I did it again. We are out of time, guys. I am so sorry. I got lost. That J-Lo IMDb thing took way more time than I thought it would. I did not cure ADHD this week. Oh, my God. I am so sorry. Okay. We will try it again next week if I get around to it. Do me a favor, please, if you like this, if you're enjoying this, please subscribe and click the notification buttons on whatever platform you're watching. Please subscribe right now. Just subscribe. It'll help me out, especially you people on the TT. Those numbers seem inflated. 54 people? Come on. I want 54 subscriptions. Please help me out. I've seen the stuff you guys subscribe to. I know what you're subscribing to.